Before you open your mouth, before you say a single word, your body has already spoken for you. Your eyes, your blink rate, the tilt of your chin, the way you enter a room, even how much you move when you stand still. All of it adds up to a silent status code that other people read almost instantly. They do not know they are doing it. They just feel it. They feel who is important, who can be ignored, who is safe to challenge, and who is better left alone. That feeling decides who gets respect, who gets talked over, who gets flirted with, who gets taken advantage of, and who gets treated like the center of gravity in the room. This is not taught in school for a reason. It ruins the nice story that success is only about talent, kindness, and hard work. People who work in interrogation, intelligence, high-stakes sales, hostage negotiation, or courtroom battles know better. They study body language because it lets them influence outcomes before the other side understands what is happening. If you do not understand this language, you live life playing only with words while your body keeps confessing your fears, your insecurity, and your need for approval. You walk into every social setting already ranked below someone who knows how to control their signals. Psychologists like Albert Mehrabian, Paul Ekman, Amy Cuddy, Joe Navarro, and others have spent years studying this nonverbal language. Their research says the same thing. People judge dominance, trust, and competence in a few seconds, often in less than a second. They do it mostly from the body, not the words. Thin slicing research shows that strangers can watch a few silent seconds of someone and rate that person almost the same way as people who have known them for months. That should scare you a little. It means in every room, your body already put you in a category before you get a chance to argue for yourself. In this video, you are going to see the code, not as abstract theory, but as specific switches you can flip in your body. You will learn how to use your eyes and face so they stop leaking anxiety and start radiating calm control. You will learn how to stand and sit in a way that makes people adjust to you. You will learn how to use timing, silence, and stillness to create tension and pressure without raising your voice. You will learn how to be unreadable when it protects you and unforgettable when it serves you. So you stop living as prey in a world that constantly scans for who will lead and who will follow. Subscribe before you forget this and slide back into the herd. This is where we train the colder, sharper part of your mind, while everyone else keeps themselves soft and easy to control. 1. Eye and face control. Your eyes tell people exactly where they sit in your world. They tell them if you are prey or predator, desperate or self-contained, easily shaken or hard to move. Most people have no control over this. Their face leaks their emotions. Their eyes dart. Their blink rate spikes when they feel watched. They flash big smiles to buy safety from strangers, and then they wonder why they never feel respected. If you want to project calm dominance, you start by training the part of your body that everyone reads first, the eyes and the face. Research on blink rate shows a simple pattern. When anxiety rises, blinking speeds up. When the mind is under heavy load, blinking speeds up. Hunters in nature do not twitch, prey does. When your blink rate is fast and uneven, the nervous systems around you treat you like something that spooks easily. You do not need to stare like a statue, but you do need to slow your blinking just a little. Try this in conversation. While you listen, let your blinks be slower and smoother than usual. Your gaze becomes heavier without becoming aggressive. This makes you look like you are not overloaded by the moment. People read that as comfort. Their brain often mislabels that comfort as power. Next is how long you hold eye contact. Experiments on social gaze show that longer eye contact is linked to perceived dominance, but endless eye contact feels threatening or creepy. The goal is not to glare. The goal is to stay just past the line of normal comfort, then leave first. When you talk to someone, meet their eyes and hold the gaze just a fraction longer than they expect. Feel the small pull of discomfort. Then you break eye contact on your own terms. You decide when to look away. The signal you send is simple. I saw you. I am not scared. I am done for now. You are not avoiding them. You are releasing them. This small change shifts you from chasing attention to giving it as a choice. There is a harsher variation of this. Before you speak in a group or at a key moment in a conversation, hold a silent stare for 1 or 2 seconds. Look at the person or the group. Let your gaze sit. Breathe once. then talk. Lawyers, interrogators, and skilled negotiators use this all the time. That pause before speech makes people lean in. Their attention tightens because their brain wants to predict what is coming. You do not fill the silence with nervous laughs or filler words. You let the silence charge the air. Then you drop your sentence into that charged space. The words hit harder because you made everyone wait. Smiling is another place where most people lose status without noticing. Constant smiling is often just a self-defense tool. It says, "Please do not see me as a threat. Please accept me." The problem is that if your face is always open and approving, your approval has no value. Studies on social reward show that human brains treat approval like a small drug. If you hand that drug out every second, people stop caring and stop respecting. Calm dominance uses the opposite rule. Smile less, but choose your moments. Keep your face neutral or slightly amused as your default. When someone earns your real smile, give it fully for a second, then let it fade. Scarcity makes it powerful. People start chasing that reaction from you, often without knowing why. Facial control does not mean being a stone. Subtle, vague expressions can increase your pull. A small eyebrow raise with a tiny, uneven smile can signal playful doubt or secret amusement. Paul Ekman's work on micro-expressions shows that these quick flashes of expression read as more real and more interesting than big, obvious reactions. An asymmetrical half-smile, a short smirk, or a slight squint can create a sense that you know more than you are saying. This pulls people in. They cannot tell exactly how you feel about them. They keep guessing. People think they love clarity, but they become obsessed with ambiguity. When your face is not easy to read, you quietly take control of their attention. Ambiguous expressions have another role. They protect you. When you keep your reactions vague instead of fully positive or fully negative, people cannot easily sort themselves in your mind. They cannot relax into knowing that you adore them, and they cannot fully lock into knowing that you dislike them. They stay alert, scanning for signs, giving you more data while you give them less. Studies on ambiguity and power show that high-status individuals are often harder to read. The more other people have to work to figure you out, the more they mentally revolve around you. Eye contact can also be used as pressure. During a negotiation, argument, or serious talk, hold eye contact calmly while the other person speaks, and then keep holding it for a beat after they finish. Do not nod like crazy. Do not rush to fill the gap. Just stay there. That extra second of silent eye contact after their last word will make many people feel exposed. Nalini Ambadi's work on rapid judgment shows how fast people react to social feedback, even tiny ones. That stretched gaze makes them feel like their last sentence is being weighed. Most will rush to correct themselves, add details, soften a statement, or reveal something they did not plan to share. You said nothing. Your eyes did the work. Even how you look away matters. A powerful dismissive move is the over-the-shoulder glance. Instead of turning your whole body to someone, you keep your body facing your original direction and turn only your head or eyes. This partial engagement says, "You are not important enough to make me fully turn." In primate groups, creatures of higher rank often give less body orientation to those below them. Humans do the same without realizing it. Use this lightly. When someone calls your name or speaks to you, you can respond by looking at them over your shoulder, holding that for a moment, then returning your full attention to whatever you were doing. It sends a clear hint about who is chasing whose attention. There is a final move that leaves a strong mark as you exit. When you are leaving a space where people have been watching you, talking to you, or thinking about you, do not just walk out and vanish. A few steps away, turn your head back over your shoulder. Let your eyes find them. Give a small half smile, then look forward again and keep walking. You are telling their brain, "I know you noticed me. I know I stayed in your mind." That last quick look acts like a hook. People replay it after you are gone, wondering what it meant, wondering what you are thinking, wondering if you will be back. Your body left the room, but your presence did not. You do not have to use every tactic at once. That would look fake. Start with 2. Slower blinking and holding eye contact, just a little longer before you look away on purpose. Then add controlled smiling. Then practice a silent stare before speaking. Over time, your default facial language will shift from nervous and reactive to calm and selective, your body will stop giving away your fear and start sending a different message. I am not here to be judged. I am here to judge. 2. Posture, stillness, and space. If the eyes decide how intense you feel, your posture decides how important you look. Before people even see your face clearly, they see how you occupy physical space. Are you folded in on yourself, guarding your body, making yourself small, moving in quick, sharp bursts like something always ready to flinch? Or are you open, loose, still, and grounded, like someone who assumes they have the right to be where they are? Research on posture and dominance repeats the same finding. High-status bodies are more relaxed, more open, and slower. Low-status bodies are tense, closed, and restless. Judy Burgoon's work on nonverbal behavior shows that constant fidgeting is one of the clearest signs of nervousness and lower status. Tapping fingers, bouncing a leg, shifting weight every few seconds, fixing your clothes over and over. These sounds and movements tell everyone around you that your nervous system is overloaded. High-status people conserve energy. They do not leak movement. Start training relaxed stillness. When you sit, plant your feet, rest your hands, relax your shoulders, and let your body be still. When you stand, keep your weight even, your arms calm, and your movements slow and deliberate. The less you fidget, the more your presence thickens in the room. People feel you as solid instead of scattered. The tilt of your chin sends a direct message to the animal part of other brains. Studies of posture and dominance show that when the chin is slightly elevated, not exaggerated, it signals comfort and confidence. In nature, animals protect their throat when they are afraid. When you walk around with your chin tucked tightly, eyes always slightly down, you are guarding vital areas. When you let the chin rise a little, neck open, you signal that you do not feel in danger. The key is subtlety. A small lift says, "I am at ease." A big lift crosses into arrogance and invites pushback. Practice a neutral face with a barely raised chin and relaxed jaw. You will feel taller even if your height does not change. Space is silent power. Amy Cuddy's research on expansive poses shows that taking up more space is linked to perceived power and leadership. Most low-status behavior shrinks. Knees pressed together, arms folded across the chest, shoulders rolled in, bag clutched tight to the body. High-status posture does the opposite. When you sit, let your feet be shoulder-width apart, shoulders open, back against the chair, arms rested in a way that gives you room. When you stand, allow your feet some distance, arms relaxed at your sides or lightly placed on a surface like a table or the back of a chair. You are signaling, "I am not apologizing for being here." How you lean also carries a message. Most people lean in when they speak because they are trying to pull attention. They chase approval with their body. You can reverse this. When you are talking, try leaning slightly back instead. Rest into your chair, or if you are standing, keep your upper body over your hips instead of pushing forward. This tells the other person, "I am not trying to reach you. If you want this interaction, you move toward me." It often makes them physically lean in. Their body declares that they are the seeker and you are the source. Proxemics, the study of personal space, shows that how close you stand to someone changes how powerful you seem. Getting very close too fast can feel aggressive or creepy, but gentle tests of distance reveal a lot. In a group setting, try standing just a bit closer to someone than they expect, while staying fully calm and relaxed. If they step back, you know they accept a lower position in that moment. If they hold their ground, you have learned about their boundaries. In other cases, you can stand slightly farther away on purpose, just outside the usual social distance. This creates a mild sense of chase. They may lean in, step closer, or work harder to keep the connection. You are not pulling toward them. They are pulling toward you. Head angle changes the whole emotional feel of your presence. A head tilted down slightly while you look up through your lashes, or from under your brow narrows your eyes and sharpens your focus. It carries a hint of threat or investigation. Predators use this posture when locking on to prey. When you lower your head but keep your eyes fixed on someone, you create an intense, targeted vibe. It says, "Right now all my attention is on you, and I am weighing what I see." This is useful in conflict, serious talks, or when you want someone to feel that you are not taking their words lightly. The opposite move is a head tilted a bit upward, while your eyes look down. This creates a top-down gaze. It is the way a teacher might look at a student, or a judge at someone standing before them. It signals that you are in the higher position in that interaction. When you combine this with body stillness, you get a very clear authority signal. You do not have to use it with everyone, but in moments when someone is testing your limits or trying to push your boundaries, lifting your head slightly while letting your eyes look down at them can shift the dynamic without raising your voice. Stillness, posture, and space are not just about how others see you. They also feed back into your own nervous system. When you sit like prey, you start to feel like prey. When you stand like someone small, your mind follows the signal. Controlled studies show that changing posture changes hormones, mood, and risk-taking behavior to some degree. When you train yourself to be still, to take up space, to let your chin rise a little, you are teaching your body that it is safe. That safety then shows up in your voice, your decisions, and the way you handle conflict. A simple drill. In the next social setting you enter, say nothing for the first 30 seconds. Walk in with a relaxed pace, shoulders back, chin slightly elevated, eyes moving slowly across the room instead of darting. Find a place where you can sit or stand that gives you a clear view. Plant your feet, rest your arms, do not fidget, do not rush to smile at everyone. Just be there, calm and still. You will see something interesting. People start to look at you more. Some will adjust their posture near you. Some will talk louder, as if to get your attention. Others will glance, look away, then glance again. Your silence and stillness disturb the usual pattern. Without saying a word, you have changed your rank. Over time, these shifts become your default. You blink slower. You move less. You take up more room. You control distance. Your head and chin angle send quiet signals of evaluation rather than fear. The world treats bodies like this differently. People interrupt you less. They apologize more when they waste your time. They look for your reaction. They try not to lose your approval. They may not know why, but their nervous system can feel it. This is not a background character. This is someone whose presence must be taken into account. 3. Hand and gesture control. Your hands leak your mental state almost as much as your eyes. When someone is nervous, the hands give it away right away. Fingers tap, knuckles crack, nails get picked, objects get twisted and turned. When someone is calm and in control, the hands move less, slower, and only when needed. People rarely think about what their hands are doing, but everyone around them reacts to it. If your eyes and posture send the first signal of status, your hands either confirm or destroy that signal. Research on gestures and persuasion shows a clear pattern. When gestures match what is being said and appear smooth and controlled, listeners see the speaker as more clear, more confident, and more trustworthy. But most people do not use gestures like this. They either flail around randomly, or they lock their hands in place and look stiff and scared. The goal is not to freeze your arms. The goal is to move with purpose. Every movement should look like it chose to be there, not like it escaped from your nervous system by accident. Start by slowing everything down. Whatever your hands normally do in conversation, cut the speed in half. If you usually chop the air, do it slower and with fewer repetitions. If you usually wave your hands around in big circles, shrink the size and calm the speed. Slow gestures look like they belong to someone whose brain is not racing. They say, "I am not rushed. I am not trying to force you to understand me. I expect you to keep up." Fast, jerky gestures look like begging for attention or approval. Calm hands make your words feel heavier and more serious, even if the content is simple. When you are not speaking, give your hands a clear, neutral home, so they do not start fidgeting. If you are sitting, you can rest them lightly on your thighs, on the arms of the chair, or loosely clasped in your lap, but with no tight gripping. If you are standing, you can let them hang relaxed at your sides, or bring them together lightly in front of you. The key is no constant rubbing, no ringing, no tapping. If you feel your fingers starting to move just to burn off nervous energy, notice it and return them to stillness. Over time, your baseline becomes quiet hands, which reads as a quiet mind. One of the strongest authority signals with the hands is the steeple. This is when you touch the tips of your fingers together, palms apart, so your hands form a shape like a small roof. Body language experts have seen this gesture in leaders, executives, and lawyers across many cultures. It tends to appear when someone feels sure of their position or argument. Using a steeple sends a clear message: I am confident in what I am saying, and I am not in a rush to prove it. When you speak while steepling, your words feel like a judgment instead of a request. Do not overdo this. A permanent steeple looks fake. Use it in moments when you are listening to someone explain something, when you are about to give your view on a topic, or when you want to show that you are evaluating a situation instead of reacting emotionally. For example, during a meeting, while others argue, you can lean back slightly, steeple your fingers, and watch. People will feel your presence more, even if you are silent. When it is your turn to speak, keep the steeple for your first sentence, then let your hands move slowly to support your words. Touch is a more dangerous tool, but very powerful when used correctly. Studies on touch show that a brief, light touch on the arm or shoulder can increase compliance, tips, and positive feeling toward the person who touches. But status matters. Touch that comes from someone already seen as lower rank can feel needy or annoying. Touch that comes from someone seen as calm and solid often feels grounding, even when it also asserts dominance. The rule is simple: the more relaxed and secure your body is overall, the more your touch feels natural instead of pushy. When you give directions or instructions, adding a soft touch can anchor you as the leader in that moment. For example, you might say, "Sit there for a second," while briefly touching the back of the other person's shoulder, then removing your hand. Or say, "Come with me," with a light touch on the forearm as you start walking. The touch is short, not a grab, and it ends quickly. You are not clinging, you are guiding. Studies with waiters and salespeople show that this kind of brief contact makes people more likely to follow the suggestion without thinking too hard about why. You can also use touch to calm a heated situation while still showing control. Imagine someone is talking quickly, getting upset. Instead of matching their energy, keep your breathing slow, your posture relaxed, and when the moment is right, place a steady hand for a second on their forearm or upper arm as you say something simple like, "Hold on," or "Let us slow down." The calm touch says, "I am steady when you are not." It gives their nervous system a small signal of safety from you, while also making it clear that you are not being pulled into their storm. There are also times when choosing not to touch sends its own message. If someone is very touchy with you, always patting or grabbing, and you never return the touch, you create a clear imbalance. They are reaching, you are not. This can place them unconsciously in the follower role, and you in the prize role. They keep trying to close the gap with contact, and you keep the line in place with calm physical distance. People often sense the difference but cannot explain it. Apart from touch, pay attention to what objects your hands interact with. Nervous people abuse anything they can grab. They click pens, keep checking their phone, spin keys, shred napkins, adjust their clothing every few seconds. Confident presence avoids this. When you sit at a table, put your phone away instead of holding it. When you have a pen, use it to write briefly, then put it down. If you are wearing jewelry, resist the urge to keep twisting it. Every time your hand starts to reach for something just for comfort, stop and return to stillness. Your lack of props makes your body the main event. When you do gesture to support your speech, match the shape of your hand to the message. Open hands with palms slightly up feel more inviting and honest. They are useful when you are explaining, offering, or calming. Firmer, more closed hands, like a flat palm facing down for a second, carry a sense of finality and control. They fit when you are drawing a line, ending a topic, or stating a boundary. A relaxed pointing motion with two fingers or with the chin can direct attention without looking rude, while a hard stabbing point with one finger often feels aggressive and insecure. Everything in your hands should look like a choice, not a leak. That is the core rule. Before you speak in an important moment, glance at your own hands for half a second. Are they gripping, drumming, or twisting? If yes, release whatever they are holding. Let the fingers spread and relax. Maybe rest one hand lightly over the other. Then speak. When you listen to someone, try placing your hands in a stable pose, like resting on the table or lightly steepled, and keep your focus on their face, not on your own urge to move. This gives the other person the feeling that you are unshaken, even if the topic is difficult. Over time, Your hands can become extensions of your will instead of your anxiety. Slow, purposeful gestures make your words easier to follow. A calm steeple shows that you rate your own thoughts highly. Brief, controlled touch during directions or emotional moments marks you as the person setting the tone. Limited fidgeting and object play keep your presence clean and strong. Put all of this together, and your hands stop betraying you. They stop telling the room that you are nervous, needy, or unsure. Instead, they quietly add to the same message your eyes and posture are already sending. I am in control of myself, and I am not here to beg for your comfort. 4. Timing. Pauses and silence. Status is not only what you look like, it is how fast you move, how quickly you react, and how much silence you can tolerate without panicking. Most people are terrified of empty space in a conversation. The second there is a pause, they rush to fill it with nervous laughs, explanations, or extra words they did not need to say. High-status people do the opposite. They take time, they pause, they allow silence to sit in the air like a weight. That timing makes everyone else adjust to them. Conversation studies show that people feel a strong push to respond almost instantly when someone stops talking. The brain hates gaps. It tries to fill them. If you always answer right away, you train others to see you as reactive, eager, and easy to move. If you slow your responses by just a second or two, you send a different message. I am not being pulled around by your words. I choose when and how I respond. This is one of the simplest ways to project calm dominance, and it does not require any special body language skills, just self-control. Start with deliberate pauses before you answer questions. When someone asks you something, do not fire back right away, even if you know exactly what to say. Let there be a silent beat. Breathe once, maybe glance slightly away, then return your eyes and speak. The pause does two things. First, it makes your answer feel considered, even if it is simple. Second, it makes the other person feel like they are waiting for your judgment. They become slightly more invested in whatever comes out of your mouth, because they had to hold their attention for it. This timing becomes even more powerful in group settings. Imagine someone directs a question at you in a meeting or at a table. Instead of jumping in quickly, you allow that small silence to settle after they finish. Everyone turns to you, waits, and in that second, your rank rises. You are the person whose words do not come on demand like a vending machine. You are the person who thinks first, then speaks. The room unconsciously respects that. Silence after you speak is just as important. Most people weaken their own statements by rushing to soften them. They say something strong, then immediately add a joke, a nervous laugh, or a long explanation to make sure nobody is upset. This screams fear of disapproval. In serious talks and negotiations, this ruins your leverage. A stronger move is to speak your sentence, then shut up. Let the words hang there. Say, "That does not work for me," and then be quiet. Say, "This is what I am willing to do," and then be quiet. The other side will often start talking to reduce their own discomfort. They explain more, reveal more, or bend more than they planned, simply because you did not jump in to rescue them from the silence. Negotiation research shows that silence after an offer or demand makes people more likely to change their position. The reason is simple. When you stay quiet, the other person feels all the weight of the moment. They wonder if they push too hard. They second-guess their own words. If you rush to fill that gap, you take that pressure off them and put it on yourself. When you hold the silence, you keep the pressure on their side of the table. Your timing also sends messages about how easily you can be emotionally moved. Fast, big reactions to praise or surprise can look like hunger. If someone gives you a compliment and you instantly beam, gush, and overthank them, you are showing that their approval is a high-value prize to you. High-status people tend to react more slowly and with less visible excitement, even when they feel pleased. This does not mean you act cold or rude. It means you let a compliment land, you take a second, then you respond in a simple, grounded way. For example, if someone says, "You did amazing," instead of instantly jumping in, pause. Let your face stay neutral or slightly pleased, then say "thank you" with a calm tone. That short delay gives the impression that praise is not rare in your life. You are not starved for it. Studies on social rank and emotion show that people at higher status levels show less intense visible reactions to both good and bad stimuli. Training slower responses makes you look like someone used to being valued, not someone shocked by it. The same rule works with surprises or shocking news. If someone drops big information on you, pause, breathe. Let your face stay steady for a moment before you decide what expression to show. People will often feel unsettled because they are used to others reacting right away. Your delay makes them wonder what you are thinking, which puts attention and power in your hands. It also protects you from saying something you later regret. Timing is crucial when it comes to personal questions. When someone asks you something private early on, like your income, past relationships, or deep opinions, most people either overshare or shut down harshly. Both give away status. A simple dark tactic is to use delay and low detail. When they ask, you let there be a small pause, maybe look slightly away as if weighing what to share, then you answer with less than they gave you. If they told a long story about their family, you give a shorter, more controlled answer about yours. You are polite, but you do not open the same amount. Researchers who study curiosity found that when someone feels like there is more under the surface, their mind keeps coming back. By not rushing to fill their curiosity, and by giving less detail than they expect, you create a small psychological itch. They try again later. They ask more. They think about you more. Your timing made you look selective, not exposed. Sighs are another subtle timing tool. A sigh is just a deeper, longer exhale, but people read it as a sign of emotion. Nonverbal studies link sighing to emotional regulation and disengagement. Used carefully, a sigh can say, "This is boring," "This is disappointing," or "This is beneath me," without you ever stating it openly. The danger is overuse. Constant sighing just makes you look unhappy with life in general. But a rare, controlled sigh at the right moment can shift how others see their own behavior. Imagine someone has been talking in circles, making weak excuses, or dragging out a point that does not matter. Instead of arguing, you keep your posture relaxed, eyes calm, and then at a natural pause in their speech, you let out a quiet, slightly heavier breath, then stay silent. You do not roll your eyes. You do not insult them. You simply let that sigh sit there. Most people will instantly start to defend, correct, or speed up, because their brain reads your sigh as social disapproval. You applied pressure without a direct attack. There is also the mid-sentence sigh. While someone is speaking and you want to signal mild disinterest or dissatisfaction, you can inhale through your nose, then let out a slightly longer exhale, just audible enough, while keeping your eyes on them. Do not exaggerate it. Done right, it triggers a small alarm in their mind. Am I losing this person? Did I say something wrong? They will often try to adjust their behavior to pull you back in, which puts you in the evaluator position and them in the performer position. All of this rests on your ability to stay calm inside pauses. You cannot use silence as a weapon if you are terrified of it. Practice this in low-stakes situations. During simple chats, let a few moments of quiet happen and do not rush to kill them. Count slowly in your head before responding. Learn what 2 or 3 seconds of silence actually feels like. It is shorter than you think. Watch how often the other person jumps in first when there is a gap. Notice how much they reveal when they hurry. In more serious conversations, mix eye control with timing. Someone finishes a sentence. You hold eye contact. Let a second or two pass, then speak. Or you speak, end firmly, and keep your eyes steady and your mouth shut. The eyes say, "I am still here, fully present." The silence says, "I am not uncomfortable enough to backtrack." Together they create a powerful signal. You cannot easily move me. Slow timing does not mean talking slowly in a fake way or dragging out every word. It means choosing your moments. It means not reacting the instant someone presses an emotional button. It means being willing to let other people sit in their own discomfort instead of always rescuing them. When you control time in a conversation, you control the emotional pace. When you control the emotional pace, you control the frame of the interaction. Put simply, low-status people chase words. High-status people control silence. Train yourself to welcome small gaps instead of fearing them. Add a beat before you answer. Leave a beat after you make a clear point. Delay your reactions to praise, attacks, and personal questions. Use rare, well-placed sighs to mark boredom or disapproval without drama. The more you do this, the more others start to feel that being around you is different. They wait for your replies. They watch your face in the pauses. They forget that you did not say much, because the little you did say felt heavy. Rapport and mirroring. Power is not only about making people back down. Real influence often comes from making people feel comfortable while staying in control of the connection. That is where rapport and mirroring come in. Most people use these skills by instinct and give away their position. They nod too fast, mirror too closely, and share too much, all to be liked. Dark psychology tactics flip that. You still build rapport, but you do it on your terms, so others open up while you stay guarded. Start with something simple, the nod. Nodding is a basic feedback signal. It tells the speaker, "Keep going, I am following." But the speed and size of your nod changes the meaning. Fast, repeated nodding looks like begging for approval. It screams, "I agree, please like me, please do not be upset." That drains your status. Slow, small nods do something very different. They show that you are listening, but not fully sold. You are taking in information, not rushing to agree. This keeps the other person talking and often makes them try harder to win you over. In conversation, test this. While someone is speaking, keep your face calm and your nods slow and minimal. Every 10 or 15 seconds, give a single small nod instead of a string of quick ones. You are saying, "I hear you," but you are not saying, "I submit to your view." Many people will respond by adding more details, clarifying their points, or opening up more, because they feel that you are a serious audience whose approval is not automatic. Mirroring is the next tool. Research on the chameleon effect shows that when people unconsciously copy each other's posture, expressions, or tone, they feel more connected and tend to like each other more. Most people mirror automatically when they are trying hard to fit in. They lean when the other leans, smile as soon as the other smiles, and match energy instantly. The problem is they are following, not leading. You want to use mirroring in a controlled way, with delay and at lower intensity, so you guide the rhythm instead of chasing it. Here is how to do that. First, notice the other person's body position. Maybe they are sitting with one ankle on the opposite knee, or leaning on one elbow, or resting back with arms on the chair. Do not copy them right away. Wait a minute or so. Then adjust your body in a similar way, but a little softer. If they lean sharply to the side, you lean slightly. If they sit very wide, you sit open but less exaggerated. That delay keeps your mirroring from looking fake, and the lower intensity keeps you from seeming like a reflection of them. Their brain still registers similarity, which builds comfort, but you look like your own center of gravity. This works with small movements too. If they take a drink, a few seconds later you might take a drink. If they cross their legs, a bit later you shift your legs. If they slow their speech, you slow yours slightly after. Over time, something interesting can happen. You can start to lead the rhythm instead of just matching it. Try this in longer interactions. Begin by slowly matching their style. Once the connection feels smoother, change yourself slightly in the direction you want, like sitting up straighter or calming your gestures. Many people will unconsciously follow that adjustment. Now you are setting the emotional pace while they feel like you are on the same wavelength. Facial mirroring goes even deeper. People feel strongly bonded when they sense that someone is tuned in to their subtle reactions. You can use that without exposing yourself. Instead of copying big expressions, mirror only the tiny ones. When they show a small smile, your mouth can soften a second later. When their head tilts slightly to the side, yours can tilt a little in the same direction after a short delay. If their eyelids lower a bit in a tired or calm way, let your eyes relax just after. These small matches trigger a feeling of being understood. The key is to mirror less than they do. If they laugh loudly, you might smile or give a short, low laugh, not match their volume. If they are extremely animated, you raise your energy a bit, but not to their level. This keeps you from looking like you are chasing their mood. It also gives the sense that you are emotionally stable while still being connected. They move a lot, you move a little. They throw out big reactions, you give measured ones. Their nervous system often reads that as strength and safety. Now combine mirroring with what could be called fake curiosity. Most people are desperate to be heard. Studies on self-disclosure show that people feel closer to those who listen to their stories, even if the listener barely shares anything about themselves. You can use this. Ask clear, open questions that invite the other person to talk about their experiences, thoughts, and feelings. Then stay mostly quiet and listen, using slow nods and light facial mirroring to show that you are paying attention. The trick is to look truly focused while giving away almost nothing. Maintain steady but relaxed eye contact while they speak. Lean slightly toward them if you want to increase the feeling of connection, or stay neutral if you want them to chase your engagement a bit more. Ask follow-up questions that go a layer deeper. How did that feel for you? What happened next? What did you do about it? These questions signal interest, and most people open up gladly. Meanwhile, you keep your own stories short and controlled, never oversharing to match what they give. This creates a strong psychological effect. They walk away feeling like you really understand them, because they did most of the talking while you listened closely. They feel attached and trusting, but you still know much more about them than they know about you. That information gap gives you power. You have data on their fears, desires, triggers, and values. They have only a calm, controlled version of you. In future interactions, you can adjust your behavior to press or ease those buttons as needed. Slow nodding and measured mirroring are also useful during conflict or tense moments. When someone is upset, instead of arguing back right away, you can slightly mirror their posture while keeping your body more relaxed than theirs. If they lean forward, you lean a bit forward, but not as sharply. If they talk faster, you increase your speed a little, then gradually slow down. Add slow nods at key points to show you hear them, without rushing to agree. This often brings their intensity down over time, because they feel heard without feeling fully matched in their anger. You are guiding them back to calm without them noticing how you did it. Another subtle move is to mirror emotion briefly, then move to a calmer state and let them follow. For example, if someone tells you something sad, your face can show a brief, softer expression, maybe a slight frown and a nod. Then after a moment, your features relax into a neutral, steady look. Their feelings were acknowledged, but you did not sink into them. Many people will naturally let their own emotions settle a bit as they talk, following your lead. You honored their state without losing control of your own. There is a line you must not cross: over-mirroring. If you copy every move, expression, and tone too closely and too quickly, you start to feel strange to the other person. Their brain senses something is off. Used badly, mirroring becomes obvious and annoying. Used well, it stays just under awareness. Think of it like turning a dial, not flipping a switch. You add a little similarity here, a bit there, enough that their body relaxes, but never so much that it seems like an act. Rapport built this way can be used for good or for control. The dark side is simple. When someone feels deeply understood by you, they often lower their guard. They tell you more, trust your suggestions more, and fear losing your approval more. Because you have not matched their level of self-disclosure, you can step back at any time with little cost, while they feel the loss strongly. This imbalance gives you leverage in arguments, negotiations, and even in simple social dynamics. To practice, in your next long interaction, give yourself a quiet mission. For the first 20 minutes, aim to talk less than the other person. Ask thoughtful questions, mirror their posture and expressions with a delay and lower intensity, and keep your nods slow. Notice how much they reveal and how positive they feel toward you, even though you did not share much. Later, reflect on how much you learned about them compared to what they learned about you. That gap is what controlled rapport gives you. In short, rapport and mirroring do not have to make you weak or needy. Used with control, they let you become the person others feel safest around while you stay protected. Slow nodding keeps people talking and striving for your full agreement. Delayed, softer mirroring builds comfort without giving up your leadership of the interaction. Fake curiosity draws out details and secrets while keeping your inner world closed. Done right, this makes you both easy to talk to and strangely hard to fully know, which is exactly the kind of presence that pulls people in and keeps you in control. 6. Group dynamics and positioning. In groups, Status is decided fast and mostly without words. People look around and, in a few seconds, they decide who matters most, who can be ignored, and who will quietly follow. This decision is not based only on what anyone says. It is based on who enters when, who sits where, who seems relaxed, and who seems desperate to belong. If you control how you move and position yourself in groups, you can change the way everyone ranks you before the real conversation even starts. One of the strongest yet simplest moves is when you enter. In many social and work situations, there is a flow to how people arrive. Low-status behavior shows up as rushing to be early, standing around awkwardly waiting for others, or hovering at the edges until someone pulls you in. Higher-status behavior often looks like arriving a bit later, with no sense of hurry, and stepping into a space that is already formed. This does not mean being rude or disrespectful of time. It means not showing up like a student waiting for a teacher. When you arrive after most people are already there, eyes naturally turn to see who just came in. For a brief moment, all attention is on you. If you walk in with calm posture, relaxed face, and unhurried steps, you set a strong first impression. You can use this tactic in meetings, parties, or group hangouts. Aim to arrive on time or a little after, not way early, unless you have a specific reason. When you walk in, do not rush to fill the silence or apologize in an over-the-top way. A simple, calm greeting is enough. Stand tall, make brief, steady eye contact with a few people, and then choose your place with purpose. That combination says, my presence is something to notice, not something to sneak in. Where you place yourself in the group quietly shifts how people treat you. Social psychology research shows that certain seats feel more powerful. At a rectangular table, the ends often carry more weight. At a round table or circle, center positions across from entrances or with the clearest view of everyone feel more commanding. Most people sit wherever is easiest or closest. They slide into side spots, corners, or far edges, which naturally puts them in the background. High-status people are more likely to take seats that give them a full view and make them easy to see. Next time you are in a meeting room, classroom, or group dinner, pause before you sit. Look for the spots that are clearly visible to most people. That might be the head of the table, the middle of a side facing the room, or a chair that faces the door and the group instead of a wall. If it is not socially sensitive, take one of those positions without making a big show out of it. Sit down calmly, take up a normal amount of space, and settle in. Others will often direct their comments and attention toward that zone, even if no official rank has been assigned. If a clear central spot is not available, you can still shift your presence by how you sit. Even in a side chair, sit in a way that angles your body toward the center of the action instead of away from it. Turn slightly so you can see as many faces as possible. Rest an arm on the back of your chair or on the table, occupying a bit of shared space without crowding others. These small adjustments make you part of the core instead of someone hovering on the edge. Group dynamics also show up in who stands and where. In rooms where people are milling around, low-status people often stick to walls, corners, or behind furniture, almost hiding in plain sight. They rarely stand in open, central areas. If you want to be seen as important, avoid stapling yourself to the side of the room. Find a spot that others naturally pass by, such as near the center of the space, by a key table, or close to but not blocking the entrance. Stand there with relaxed posture, slow movements, and open body language. People will often pivot around you, making you a natural point of reference. A powerful, quiet way to read group dynamics is by watching feet. Faces and torsos can lie. Politeness can make someone look at you while their mind is elsewhere. But feet often point where someone truly wants to go. If you focus on where shoes are aiming, you get a map of attention and desire. In a group standing conversation, glance down casually. If someone's chest faces you but their feet angle toward the door, they probably want to leave. If their feet aim at another person in the circle, that person has more pull than you in that moment. Pay attention to clusters of feet as well. In a group of 5, if 3 pairs of feet point toward the same person, that person currently holds the most power or interest, even if they are quiet. You do not need to stare at the floor. Just check briefly and store what you see. Then position yourself based on that map. If you want more influence, stand or sit where more feet will naturally turn toward you. such as near the key person or across from them so people look past them and see you. You can also use foot pointing to test your own effect. When you join a group, notice if any feet start to angle toward you over time. If they do, you are pulling attention. If not, adjust your position and behavior. Maybe you need to speak less but with more weight, or shift to a more central physical spot. The goal is not to force everyone to face you at all times. The goal is to avoid being the person everyone politely listens to while their bodies aim somewhere else. In group conversations, who talks first and who talks last leaves a strong mark. Low-status people rush to fill any gap, talking early and often, trying to prove their value. High-status people are more selective. They let others speak, watch the flow, and then speak when they have something clear to add. Physically, this shows up as more stillness. Others may shift, wave their hands, or lean in aggressively. The calm person waits. When you do speak, combine your central or visible position with steady eye contact around the group and controlled gestures from Chapter 3. Then, after you finish, resist the urge to jump in again right away. Let your point sit. Often, others will respond to you more than to anyone else because your few statements felt more grounded. Entry and exit timing matter in groups just like they do in one-on-one interactions. Leaving slightly before the energy completely dies can increase your perceived value. You avoid being part of the leftover group that lingers without purpose. When you decide to go, do it cleanly. Stand with no rush, gather your things smoothly, and give simple goodbyes. If there are one or two people you want to leave a stronger impression on, you can add the over-the-shoulder glance and half smile as you head out, like in Chapter 1. That small move can keep you in their minds after the gathering has ended. There is also power in how you align yourself with subgroups. In any group, smaller clusters form. There may be a dominant cluster in the center and weaker clusters at the edges. If you always attach yourself to the weakest cluster, you become part of that lower rank. If you slowly move between groups but spend more time near the central or most engaged cluster, you gain more visibility and status. Do this smoothly. Do not dart around. Shift groups during natural breaks in conversation. When you join a stronger cluster, use the rapport and mirroring tools from Chapter 5 to settle in quickly without looking like you are begging for a spot. At the same time, avoid chasing specific people too obviously. If someone high status moves and you immediately follow every time, others will file you under follower, not equal. A better tactic is to position yourself so that important people have to pass near you or naturally end up within your radius. For example, stand near routes people use often, or choose a seat that forces key players to face you when they speak to others. Let them come into your zone instead of always entering theirs. In classrooms, offices, or clubs where the same group meets often, these choices add up. The person who always arrives slightly rushed and sits at the far edges becomes part of the scenery. The person who regularly occupies central spots, enters and exits with calm timing, and holds still while others fidget slowly becomes a reference point for the whole group. People ask, is that person here yet? What does that person think about this? Did that person hear what was just said? They start to orient around you, often without noticing that you did nothing big or loud to cause it. Group dynamics are not about being the funniest, loudest, or smartest. Many loud people get ignored because their bodies scream insecurity. True presence in a group comes from quiet control of space and timing. Arrive like your time matters. Choose positions that give you a clear view and make you easy to see. Read feet to understand where the real attention flows. Let others rush while you stay still and selective. Use exits and shifts between subgroups with purpose. When you start doing this, rooms feel different. Instead of trying to find where you fit, you become a fixed point that others have to fit themselves around. Conflict and emotional control. Power is tested most clearly during conflict. Anyone can look calm when nothing is at stake. Real status shows when voices rise, when someone insults you, when a deal turns tense, or when a friend or partner pushes your emotional buttons. In those moments, most people lose control of their body. Their breathing speeds up, their face twists, their gestures explode, and their voice cracks or jumps in pitch. The person who can stay physically calm while others lose control instantly steps into the higher position. Emotional control in dark psychology is not about having no feelings. It is about not letting your body broadcast those feelings for everyone to attack. When you keep your face neutral on the outside while sorting your reaction on the inside, you act like a mirror that exposes the other person's loss of control. Studies on emotion regulation show that people who can manage their visible reactions without exploding have more influence in tense situations because everyone else unconsciously looks to them for stability. Start with your outer reaction during conflict. When someone raises their voice, speaks rudely, or tries to provoke you, train yourself not to give a big visible reaction right away. That means no wide eye roll, no dramatic sigh, no sudden flinch, no instant angry expression. Instead, let your face stay almost still, maybe with a slight tightening around the eyes if needed, but nothing huge. Keep your body posture similar to how it was before they acted. Do not suddenly lean way forward or back. Hold your ground both physically and emotionally. This neutrality throws many people off. They expect you to fire back, defend yourself, or crumble. When nothing obvious happens in your face or body, they start to feel more exposed. Their anger or attack has nowhere to land. They see their own emotions standing alone, while you remain steady. Often, they will either push harder and look more out of control, or they will begin to calm down because your stillness makes their reaction feel childish or extreme. You do not need to be completely blank. You just need to be understated. Understated reactions mean you respond, but with much less movement and energy than the other person expects. This is especially important with compliments and attacks. When someone praises you in front of others, many people either shrink in embarrassment or explode with excitement. Both reactions put their self-worth in the hands of the person giving praise. A high-status response is small and grounded. Pause a moment, give a light nod or a brief, real smile, and say thanks in a calm tone. Then move on. Your body is saying, "This is appreciated but not shocking. I am used to being valued." Attacks work the same way. If someone throws a mean comment at you, a low-status reaction is to defend yourself intensely, laugh too loud to show you are not hurt, or throw a bigger insult back right away. A stronger move is to react smaller than they expect. Keep your face steady. Maybe let a tiny, almost bored smile appear for a second. Then say something short like, "Noted," or "Okay," and stop. You are telling them that their attempt to move you did not hit deep. You refuse to treat their words as something you must respond to emotionally. Often this robs them of the drama they wanted and makes them look petty or insecure. Breathing is your main tool for keeping this outer calm real instead of fake. Under stress, the body switches to shallow, fast breaths. The chest rises and falls quickly. The voice shakes and hands tremble. Research on slow breathing shows that if you force your breath to stay deeper and slower, your nervous system begins to calm down. That means during conflict, your first job is not to come up with the perfect line. Your first job is to manage your breath. A simple habit can change a lot. Inhale through your nose for about 4 seconds, hold for a second, and exhale slowly for about 6 seconds. You do not need to count perfectly. Just make the exhale longer than the inhale. Do this quietly while the other person is talking. As you exhale, let your shoulders drop a little and your jaw unclench. This will smooth out your voice and stop your chest from heaving. Other people will see someone whose breathing is steady and whose voice does not crack under pressure. They will automatically rate you as more in control, even if you are angry inside. Calm breathing also helps you avoid saying things you later regret. In heated moments, fast breath and racing thoughts push people to speak too soon. They dump every emotion into the conversation and later feel exposed or ashamed. When you slow your breathing first, you create a small buffer between feeling and action. That buffer is where power lives. It lets you decide, is this even worth responding to? And if yes, what response serves me best? Another quiet tool is how you use your gaze in conflict. Instead of looking away nervously or staring with open rage, hold a steady, cool eye contact that is just slightly shorter or longer than usual, depending on what you want. If someone attacks you, you can meet their eyes for a second or two longer than normal with a neutral face. Then look away on your own terms, not in a flinch. This says, "I saw exactly what you did, and I am not shaken." Or during a heated discussion, you can listen to their whole outburst while keeping calm eye contact, then let a short silence fall before you answer. That combination of eye control and silence shifts the frame. You are evaluating, not reacting. Body position during conflict matters too. Many people either lean far back in a defensive way or lean aggressively forward into the other person's space. Both extremes give away control. A better stance is grounded and balanced. Stand or sit with both feet solid, weight evenly spread, shoulders relaxed but not slumped, and chest open. Face the person enough to show you are present, but not so square on that it feels like a physical challenge, unless you truly want that. This posture tells their nervous system, I am not running, and I am not chasing. I am rooted. Notice your hands. In conflict, hands often clench, point sharply, or start flailing. Understated power keeps the hands calmer. Rest them on a table, on your lap, or lightly by your sides. If you must gesture, do it slowly and briefly. Loose, controlled hands make your words seem more deliberate. Wild hands make you look like you are losing yourself. If you feel your fingers curling into fists, deliberately loosen them. Even that small physical choice feeds back into your mind, reminding it that you are in control of your actions. There will be times when someone tries to drag you into a loud emotional argument just to show dominance. They may insult you in front of others, keep interrupting, or push for a reaction. Instead of giving them what they want, you can use a dark tactic, strategic boredom. Strategic boredom means you treat their extreme behavior as uninteresting. Your face stays neutral, or even mildly tired. Your responses are short and calm. You might say, "Are you finished?" or "I heard you," without matching their heat. To everyone watching, you look like the adult in the room dealing with a child having a tantrum. This does not mean you never stand up for yourself. It means you choose when and how. You wait until your body is under control. Then you state your boundary clearly. I am not okay with that. Or do not speak to me like that again. Or this conversation is over for now. Then you follow through. If they keep pushing, you do not get louder, you end the contact. Walk away, change the subject, or involve someone higher if needed. The key is that you do not let them script your emotions. You write your own script. Sometimes, the best move in conflict is to give very little reaction for a long time. If there is someone in your life who loves to poke you, a person who feeds on your emotional responses, starving them of that fuel weakens their power. When they use small insults or passive-aggressive comments, respond with a flat, simple phrase and no extra emotion. Phrases like, "Okay, perhaps if you say so," or "interesting," said in a calm tone, send the message that their attempt to provoke you failed. Over weeks, many people will back off and look for easier targets. The deepest effect of emotional control is internal. When you train your body to stay calm on the outside, your mind slowly follows. You start to feel less afraid of conflict because you trust yourself not to fall apart in it. That confidence shows up before any fight even begins. People sense who is easy to rattle and who is not. They may think twice before targeting someone whose breathing is steady, whose face is hard to read, and whose reactions are always a bit smaller than expected. Put all the pieces together. In conflict, your face stays mostly neutral, your reactions understated, your breathing slow, your body grounded, and your words few but clear. You accept compliments with calm and absorb attacks with control. You do not rush to defend your worth. Your lack of panic defends it for you. Around someone like that, others feel their own chaos more sharply. They either rise to meet your level of control or expose themselves as unable to do so. That is the final layer of dark body language. You are no longer just signaling calm dominance when things are easy. You are holding that signal under pressure, when it counts most. And in a world where most people are ruled by their reactions, the person who can stay physically and emotionally composed becomes very hard to ignore, very hard to manipulate, and very hard to defeat.